On Saturday, St. Paul police raided 2 apartments, seizing some drugs and drug paraphernalia. 8 people were arrested, 2 were released, 6 remain in custody. Police believe that some of those arrested may have ties to street gangs in Chicago, specifically the Black Gangster Disciples and the El Rucons. Today, officers contacted the Chicago Police Gang Unit to determine if a connection exists.
I think we got some Chicago-based people that are here that are supposedly the figureheads in it, and I think they're just kind of taking off with that. What that means, I'm not sure.
In the last few months, police have confiscated a number of these blue bandanas, supposedly worn by the Blue Disciples. Police say the Disciples use this 6-pointed star with spears as their insignia. They are known to frequent the Selby area, where a number of daily drug transactions take place, and though no real organized crime activity or gang uprisings have been reported, the neighbors here are concerned and at times are quite frightened.
We have reports through our beat officers that there is some intimidation of people that live in the area, intimidation of some of the younger people that frequent the area.
Police say these arrests will cut down significantly on the amount of drug traffic that goes on in this area. Charges against 6 of the people are expected to be filed before noon tomorrow morning. Frank Mann, Channel 5 Eyewitness News, St. Paul. 8 months ago, they were organized and highly structured. They were not merely roving groups of teenagers, but youth gangs modeled after their counterparts in Chicago. Today, police can refer to at least 7 of them by name: the Disciples, the Blood, Vice Lords, Warlords, Latin Kings, Naturals, and Soul. In the case of the Black Gangster Disciples, one can see the power structure was well defined, from general to chief enforcer. There were even divisional chairmen representing different parts of turf, and underneath them all, as many as 50 foot soldiers with specialties in robbery, theft, prostitution, and drugs. But that was 8 months ago, before a young girl was murdered, reportedly for breaking a gang's code of silence. According to juvenile officer Brad Johnson, since that time, a number of arrests have caused the gang structure to collapse on itself.
As crimes were committed and these particular people happened to be indicated as the suspects and ended up being arrested and jailed, convicted and jailed.
Police say the structure of these gangs may have been undermined, but the crimes committed by these so-called gang members have not stopped. On Monday, the city's first gang task force will meet to discuss these crimes, to determine if Minneapolis really does have a serious gang problem. Reporting for the Eyewitness News Update, I'm Frank Mann in Minneapolis.
It's had a 25-year-long stronghold on Chicagoland. Now local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies believe they've crippled the Gangster Disciples' sophisticated drug-running operation.
We are the toughest gang in town, and we intend to work together in the future to make sure that no one steps into this void.
In the past 20 years, Larry Hoover, the Disciples' chairman, has been running the operation from behind state prison walls.
We went after the head of the snake, and we believe that we've ripped off the head of the snake with this series of indictments here today. The idea is by doing that, it will greatly cripple a gang.
U.S. State's Attorney Jim Burns compares the Disciples operation to a major corporation. Its CEO, president, and board members all charged on various drug and weapons offenses. The impact, he says, is expected to be immediate, not only for the city, but the suburbs.
It's a much wider spread problem than I think some people sitting very snugly and very comfortable in their suburban homes and think that it is not their problem. Frankly, they are wrong. It is their problem. We're all in this together.
And the Disciples' presence reared its head into the Chicago Police Department. Officer Sonia Irwin is indicted on a co-conspiracy charge.
It's clear to us that she was involved, and it's also clear to us that at this point in time, she is in the process of giving herself up.
One of the more startling revelations handed down in these indictments, prosecutors claim that 2 community outreach organizations, 21st Century Vote and Save the Children, are really used to launder drug money. They won't elaborate any more than that, but we will find out details, they say, during the court proceedings. Outside the Dirksen Federal Building, Hope Woodside, CLTV News.